Hello, I am an Indian Grey Hornbill. You may have seen me flying across forests or sitting quietly in your neighborhood park. Most people notice my enormous bill. Some even think it's heavy. But here's a secret, it's surprisingly light and it helps me to do something extraordinary every year. My wife and I become parents, and our parenting journey is unlike almost any other bird in the world. Everything begins with a tree, not just any tree, an old one that's been standing here for decades. Inside its trunk, there's a hollow. To you, it may look like an ordinary hole. To us, it's the safest place on earth. My mate and I inspect every corner. Too shallow? No. Too exposed? No. Too many ants? Definitely not. Finally, we find the perfect home, and that's when our biggest adventure begins. My mate steps inside the cavity. She looks at me one last time. Then I begin sealing the entrance. Mud, fruit pulp, tree bark, even our droppings. Day after day, the opening becomes smaller and smaller until only a narrow slit remains. Now, she cannot come out. Not for days, not for weeks, not even if she wants to. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But inside, she will lay our eggs, safe from monkeys, snakes, and many other predators. It's one of the nature's most incredible way of protecting a family. From this moment, everything changes. I am now the only provider. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, every meal, every day. You might be wondering, how do I carry enough food? After all, I don't have pockets. I don't have a backpack either. And these wings certainly cannot carry shopping bags. Nature had a better idea. I collect figs, berries, and other fruits, sorting several of them inside my expandable throat beneath this enormous bill. It's like carrying my own grocery basket wherever I fly. By the time I return, I have brought enough food for the whole family. One by one, I gently bring the fruits back up and pass them through the tiny opening. First for my mate and then for the tiny lives growing inside. Weeks pass. Then one morning, I hear something I've been waiting for. Tiny voices. Our chicks have hatched. Suddenly, one hungry mouth becomes two, then three. Every visit becomes a celebration. Tiny beaks appear through the darkness, always hungry, always growing. Watching them grow stronger makes every exhausting flight worthwhile. But life isn't always peaceful. Some dangers have always existed. Crows watching my every move. Snakes search for nests. Monkeys climb these trees looking for eggs. We have learned to live with them. They are part of the jungle, just like us. But the dangers created by the humans are much harder to understand. Every year, an old tree disappears. To you, this may just be an old tree. To me, it's an hospital, a nursery, a home. We hornbills cannot carve our own nest holes like woodpeckers. We depend entirely on natural tree cavities. When an old tree falls, an entire generation of hornbills may lose its chance to survive. You can plant a young sapling today, and that's wonderful, but it may take 50, sometimes 100 years to become a home like this. That's longer than my lifetime. The forest is changing. Some summers grow hotter, some rains arrive too late. The fig trees I depend on don't always fruit when they should. Sometimes I fly farther than ever before. searching for food. Roads cut through forests, fast moving vehicles appear where trees once stood. Many of my friends never make it back. The forest remembers every piece of plastic, every tree that's cut, every change, and so do we. After many weeks, my mate finally breaks free. For the first time in nearly 2 months, she stretches her wings, feels the sunlight, breathes fresh forest air. I have never been happier to see her fly, but our work isn't over. Now, both of us become delivery partners. Together, we feed our growing family until they are ready for the biggest day of their life. And then the moment finally arrives. One little face appears near the entrance. He looks at me, looks at his mother, looks at the world beyond the tree. He is scared. I remember that feeling. One step, then another, and suddenly he flies. Not perfectly, not gracefully, but perfectly enough. Another hornbill has joined the skies. One day, my son will search for a tree, just like this one. I only hope humans leave him one, because we hornbills don't ask for much. Protect old trees, plant native fruiting trees, let forests grow old. We will do the rest. We will scatter seeds across the forest, help new trees grow, and fill the skies with our calls for generations to come. If our story touched your heart, share it. Someone out there may decide to save just one old tree, and that one tree could become the home for an entire hornbill family. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed spending a day in my life, I would love for you to come back for more stories from the wild. Every forest has a story, every bird has a journey, and every photograph has a heartbeat behind it. Until next time, keep looking up.